NEBOSH International General Certificate in Occupational Health and Safety Unit IG1. Element 4. Health and Safety Monitoring and Measuring. Define reactive and active monitoring. Active monitoring. Checking to ensure that health and safety standards are correct in the workplace before accidents, incidents, or ill health are caused. Define reactive and reactive monitoring. Reactive monitoring. Using accidents, incidents and ill health as indicators of performance to highlight areas of concern. What are the types of safety inspections at workplace? The routine general workplace inspection to determine if general standards of health and safety are acceptable, or if corrective action is necessary. For example, a quarterly housekeeping inspection in an office. The statutory inspection of an item by a competent person to fulfill a legal requirement. For example, the annual thorough examination of an item of lifting equipment. The periodic inspection of plant and machinery as part of a planned preventive maintenance (PPM) program. For example, a mechanic inspects the brakes on a lorry on a regular basis to ensure they are not excessively worn. The pre-use checks carried out by workers before they use certain items of plant and machinery. For example, the start-up checks carried out by a forklift truck driver. What are the topic headings that might be included in a generic inspection? Fire safety, including emergency escape routes, signs and extinguishers. Housekeeping, general tidiness and cleanliness. Environment issues. For example, lighting, temperature, ventilation, noise. Traffic routes, safety of both vehicle and pedestrian routes. Chemical safety, appropriate use and storage of hazardous substances. Machinery safety. For example, correct use of machine guards and interlocks. Electrical safety. For example, portable electrical appliance safety. Welfare facilities. Suitability and condition. What is the difference between a safety inspection and safety tour? Safety inspections focus on the hazards in your work environment, as well as hazard communication. A safety tour refers to walk around in the workplace or the facility to obtain a general appraisal of the working environment and safety practices. What is the main purpose of an accident investigation? The prevention of another future incident is the purpose of incident investigation, not to lay blame or find who's at fault. The investigation should identify the causes of the incident so that controls can be put in place to prevent the same incident from happening again. What are the reasons for investigating incidents? To identify the immediate and root causes. Incidents are usually caused by unsafe facts and unsafe conditions in the workplace, but these often arise from underlying, or root causes. To identify corrective action to prevent a recurrence. A key motivation behind incident investigations. To record the facts of the incident. People do not have perfect memories, and accident investigation records document factual evidence for the future. For legal reasons, accident investigations are an implicit legal duty imposed on the employer, in addition to the duty to report incidents. For claim management. If a claim for compensation is lodged against the employer, the insurance company will examine the accident investigation report to help determine liability. For staff morale. Non-investigation of accidents has a detrimental effect on morale and safety culture because workers will assume that the organization does not value their safety. To enable risk assessments to be reviewed and updated. An incident suggests a deficiency with the risk assessment, which should be addressed. For disciplinary purposes. Though blaming workers for incidents has a negative effect on safety culture for data gathering purposes, accident statistics can be used to identify trends and patterns. This relies on the collection of good quality data. What are the 4 steps of the investigation process? Gather factual information about the event. Analyze that information and draw conclusions about the immediate and root causes. Identify suitable control measures. Plan the remedial actions. Gathering information. Photographs. Sketches. Measurements. Videos. Written descriptions of factors such as wind speed, temperature, etc. Physical evidence such as samples, or the equipment that has failed. Marking up existing site. Location plans. Company policies. Risk assessments. Training records. Safe systems of work. Permits to work. Maintenance records. Site plans, area layout plans. Previous accident reports. Sickness and absence records. Analyze information. Failure to adequately supervise workers. Failure to provide appropriate PPE. Failure to provide adequate training. Lack of maintenance. Inadequate checking or inspections. Failure to carry out proper risk assessments. What types of record might be consulted during an accident investigation? Inspection and maintenance records. Risk assessments. Safe systems of work, or permits to work. Environmental measurements. Medical records. General and specific safety reports and analyses that relate to the circumstances. Training and other personnel records. Minutes of safety committee meetings. What could be included on an accident investigation checklist? Personal details of the person involved. Time and location of the accident. Type and severity of the injury sustained. Whether the injured person had been given first aid, had returned to work or had been sent to hospital. Underlying medical condition of the injured person. Task being undertaken at the time of the accident. Working environment as far as weather, standard of lighting and visibility were concerned. Condition of the floor or ground. The type and condition of any personal protective equipment that was being worn. Details of the training and information received. Details of any relevant risk assessments that had been carried out. Any previous similar accidents that had occurred. What are contents required for incident investigation report? Date and time of the incident. Location of the incident. Details of the injured person. Persons involved, name, role, and work history. Details of injury sustained. Description of the activity being carried out at the time. Drawings or photographs used to convey information on the scene. Details of witnesses and witness statements. Immediate and underlying root causes of the incident. Assessment of any breaches of legislation. Recommended corrective action, with suggested costs, responsibilities and timescales. Estimation of the cost implications for the organization. What are the reasons why workers might not report incidents? Unclear organizational policy on reporting incidents. No reporting system in place. Culture of not reporting incidents, perhaps due to peer group pressure. Overly complicated reporting procedures. Excessive paperwork. Takes too much time. Blame culture, where a worker feels that they may be treated detrimentally or disciplined for reporting any accident or near miss that they were associated with. Belief that management does not take reports seriously. Concern over the impact on the company or departmental safety statistics, especially if this is linked to an incentive scheme. Reluctance to receive first aid treatment. Apathy. What actions should be taken following a serious injury at work? Make the area safe. In some circumstances, this might need to be done first so there is no risk to those giving assistance. Ensure casualty is treated with first aid, and then further medical treatment if necessary. Isolate the scene so evidence is not disturbed. Inform the victim's next of kin. Notify enforcing authority, if relevant. Arrange any necessary counseling or support. Set up investigation team. Collect evidence, including photographs, measurements, etc. Take statements from witnesses. Determine immediate and root causes. Report findings, making recommendations to prevent recurrence. Inform safety representatives, and issue internal information. Advise insurers. Implement recommendations, revise work procedures and risk assessments. Monitor situation and review as necessary. What is the information examined during an audit? Health and safety policy. Risk assessments and safe systems of work. Training records. Minutes of safety committee meetings. Maintenance records and details of failures. Records of health and safety monitoring activities, for example tours, inspections, surveys. Accident investigation reports and data, including near-miss information. Emergency arrangements. Inspection reports from insurance companies. Output from regulator visits, for example visit reports, enforcement actions. Records of worker complaints. What are the differences between audits and workplace inspection? Audits has the aim of assessing the health and safety management system of an organization. A long process involving the examination of the entire management system. Based primarily on review of documentary evidence, backed up by some observations and interviews of personnel at all levels. Long, comprehensive report that records areas of concern and weaknesses in the management system. Detailed planning requires considerable resources. Typically done annually. Aims to improve systems at a high level, with the ultimate effect of improvements cascading down to operating level. Is a strategic tool, addressing long-term progress. Workplace inspection has the aim of assessing the use and effectiveness of control measures. A relatively short process looking at practices in part of the workplace. Primarily based on observations, perhaps involving very limited scrutiny of paperwork and interview of operators. Short report identifying key corrective actions required. Only limited planning, and main resource required is the inspector's time. Usually done on a daily, weekly, monthly, or quarterly frequency. Focuses on activities and equipment at operational level, though remedial actions may address system faults.
Please give comment and suggestions.
Thank you.
Subscribe our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for more updates. Thank for visit our channel. See you next class.
Thank you.